Okay, everybody, welcome back to Black and White Show. Today I'm going to do a little bit different format. I'm just going to go over a couple of things I came across when I was reading the wonderful, wonderful news that we have. Great media we have, isn't it? This is, of course, the newspaper rag Business Insider. I say that because they are left-leaning, as are most major news outlets these days. But anyway, California Republicans embrace legally dubious ballot harvesting after Trump and the GOP spent months decrying the practice. Boy, the drama just goes on and on and on and on. So, an official ballot drop box is set up in Los Angeles on September 12th ahead of November 3rd presidential elections. On October 12th, state officials sent cease and desist orders to California Republicans who set up unauthorized drop boxes. See, it has to be authorized. Okay. So the Republican Party doubled down on its use of unauthorized. It's just a free-for-all. Okay? There's laws in place. Now, for both sides. So they're investigating, the officials are investigating and addressing multiple instances in these counties where the drop box is unauthorized, yada yada. Okay? So, California Republicans have also put themselves directly at odds with the messaging of President Trump and the RNC, who have forcefully opposed ballot harvesting efforts. Ballot harvesting. What a phrase. Okay, what a phrase. Okay. So we have what's interesting is, let's see if I can find it now. It's probably been a while since I saw it. Well, there was polls that last time projected a Trump win, and this time they're projecting a huge landslide for Trump. So maybe that's why the Republicans thought they could get away with this. I don't know. It's just really silly. The drama. That's one thing. Okay. And then, of course, the town hall comes out with their take on this. California Dems are upset because the GOP is partaking in ballot harvesting. Because, see, the GOP was saying, oh, there's going to be all kinds of ballot stuffing and all kinds of fraud and yada, yada, yada. Don't you like this? Ballots rejected is illegal. I see you're voting against somebody that I don't want you to vote, or you're voting contrary to what I want you to vote is. I guess you're illegal. I mean, what is wrong with this? I mean, what constitutes illegal? Let's see. Ballot harvesting was a real issue in Democrat-run states, especially in California. Political operatives door to door. Actually, I remember seeing some video clips. I'd find it for this, recording this, but there were actually people going to these apartment complexes, older people, and pretty much bullying them, implying threat, in some cases, or coercion, to get these people's ballots. And they would vote for the people. Isn't that nice? This is going to be wonderful. It's so exciting. I'm just so excited. Okay. To return them to election officials. Yeah, right. There was a concern that these operatives were cherry-picking ballots. Cherry-picking ballots. Nah. Say it isn't so, Sam. They wouldn't do that, would they? Would they cherry pick ballots? Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, they would. Anyway, moving on. Officials, authorities, investigation. Well, I don't know why my little mouse did that. Anyway, get rid of it. So, first brought to officials' attention when Jordan Ty, regional field coordinator for the California Republican Party, tweeted a photo with a ballot in an unofficial ballot box. He reportedly encouraged voters to use unofficial ballot boxes. Doing my part in voting early. This is by far the most important congressional election I've ever voted in. I'm so proud to cast my vote from Michelle Steele, CA. DM me for convenient locations to drop your ballot off. Yeah, it's a joke. So, this is tit for tat. Him and her, just ridiculous. So, that's one thing. Fine. We know this is not going to be legit one way or the other. Okay, let's see what Lou Dobbs has to say about all of this.
Michigan's radical Dem governor, Gretchen Whitmer, says Michigan's election results won't be fully counted on Election Day, but don't worry your pretty head about that. Whitmer also says Election Day is just an artificial deadline. She might as well have just said it's a number, just a number. A state judge in Michigan has ruled that postmarked ballots may be counted by the state government up to 14 days after the election, just 2 weeks. That's close enough. The RNC and the Michigan Republican Party have sued to block that absurd ruling. Joining us now to take this up and much more, Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch. His new book is A Republic Under Assault, the left's ongoing attack on American freedom. Available for pre-order now, and please do so. We recommend it to you highly. Tom, good to have you here.
Well, I have to say it. I won't interrupt. I'll try not to interrupt again, but we all know, at least thinking people know, there's really no such thing as left-right. That, yeah, a lot of them hate each other, but that's just common. Thieves don't trust each other, and that's what we have in office and have had in office overall for many years. So don't get caught up in the left-right paradigm that they're trying to push on us, because they have the same masters. Masters.
Thank you. Michigan. There's just another state that, under Democratic control, that is out of its ever-loving mind. That state government is 2-week extensions, and don't worry about the election results on Election Day. Are you kidding? The Dems are reversing a decades-old convention, and that is knowing who the heck we've elected in nearly every case the night of the election.
Well, it shows you they don't care about the vote. It's about power politics, and it's about coming up with a process that may or may not include counting votes that puts the candidate of their choice into office.
Sorry, I have to interrupt again. Okay. What they want is a total, as Obama said, transformation. I forget the phrase he used, but fundamental change. Okay? They want us to become communist nation. The Democrats are guilty, and a lot of the Republicans too. Remember I said there's no such thing as a left-right paradigm. It's a joke. Not anymore. Well, they want us to be a communist nation. And there's tons and tons of money and tons of treasonous individuals that are helping to create a communist nation. So I hope you want your children to live in communism, because unless we do something about it, nothing's going to change. We're going to become, well, I should say, everything's going to change. We're going to become communist.
You know, the governor kind of exposed the fraud behind the mail-in ballot push. They don't want rules to apply. As you point out, they'll be counting ballots potentially until at least November 17th. And she's saying maybe beyond that. Technically speaking, if they don't know who won by December 8th, Michigan may not be able to participate in the system or in the Electoral College. California will be counting ballots 17 days after the election. I tell you, Lou, it's one thing to count ballots that have come in. Let's say you've got a lot of mailed-in ballots. They all came in. You've got a bunch more than you would otherwise have, but they're all there on election day. And it takes a while to count them and maybe a day or two to get all the numbers right. We are talking about counting ballots that arrive postmarked. In some cases, the left doesn't want even postmarks to matter after Election Day. If you count ballots to come in after Election Day, you're inviting fraud and you're undermining confidence
So let me ask you
in the
this.
outcome of the election.
The conduct of the Democrat Party is nothing new. They're not exactly a surprise organization, and their objectives should be a shock to no one. Yet here we are, 3 weeks from the most important election, certainly of our lifetimes, and the Republicans act like they've been caught absolutely flat-footed, had no idea this was coming. There are already 9 million votes by mail-in ballot, and the Republicans still don't seem to be reacting very vigorously. Judicial Watch is doing great work, but you're only one organization. The Democrats are throwing hundreds of thousands of people at this effort to control the election, the balloting, at the polls. As you say, the vote counting will certainly be interesting. How in the heck could we get to this position, knowing for years what certainly you and I've known, that there's going to be a real contest here for power?
Well, you know, Republicans have been late to the game here. At least they're litigating in an aggressive way, frankly, thanks to the president. And I'm not saying because I like Republican Party. It's just that I don't want votes to be stolen. I don't want the elections to be rigged. What I'm more concerned about is the fact that the Justice Department hasn't been anywhere on this. They haven't done much to clean up the rolls. They've done no interventions in these outrageous efforts to really, in my view, it's forget about voting fraud.
Yes, this is the heart of what I want to point out. The Barr has had multiple opportunities to do his job, and he doesn't. Why? That's all you got to ask. Why? I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be revealed at some point. But to that end, how come Trump has still got him there? I'd sure like to know.
It's that there are people whose votes are going to be thrown out who otherwise could have been counted if they showed up and vote in person, because they were being fraudulently induced to rely on something that's really unreliable in the end, or less reliable, which is voting by mail. And so now you're going to have potentially millions of voters not have their votes counted, and the DOJ knew that was coming down the pike, and they did nothing to stop it.
Well, we know this. The Department of Justice, deep state, what would you call it, cabal, is, you know, they're not there for civil rights and voting rights. They're there to make certain of outcomes, and that is the deal. The Wall Street Journal today saying the president they wish that he wouldn't be so critical of the Attorney General Barr, because, you know, it's a matter of principle, they're sure, on the part of Barr, to not have a report as he promised, to not have indictments and charges against those he described as nefarious, my word, encapsulating his language. You know, I don't know what to say. Your thoughts about Barr? Is the president being too harsh, wanting an attorney general to honor the people's right to know? Is the president being too harsh and insisting that the people have the information with which to make a judgment before they go and cast their ballot? My God, the arrogance and the ignorance of the elites in this country, whether Republican or Democrat, is suffocating.
Yeah, I trust the experts at the Justice Department. The president can't be president. That seems to be the suggestion, and it's from both the left and the right. They get nervous when the president makes the mistake of thinking oh my gosh, I was put into office here to be president. Maybe I should exercise the powers entrusted to me by the American people and not defer to nameless bureaucrats or people who supposedly work for me, but who ignore the public interest. You know, this president came to town to clean up the swamp and drain the swamp. And they targeted him and tried to
Supposedly he did. Maybe he was, you know, the good cop in this scenario. I don't know. Time will tell.
destroy him ever since. And there's been few people out there within his own administration, within Congress, who have defended the rule of law and him from being victimized here. And I'm just tired of it. And the Justice Department has allowed this to go on with impunity, practically speaking.
Well, in other words, you're not siding with the Wall Street Journal editorial board.
No, the Wall Street Journal, look, this is the typical approach. This is the typical approach from the Washington establishment. Don't rock the boat.
We don't have time for typical approaches, Tom. We've got three weeks to election, and we still don't have a damn substantive document that's been released by the deep state, and the defiance of the president's orders goes on another day. Hopefully that will end today. Tom, thanks for being with us. As always, good to see you.
Okay. Well, that just goes to show. More of the same. More of the same. More of the same. I don't know what else to tell you. But I hope that God's will is done. Bottom line. No matter what people say, no matter what people think, I know that there's more going on here than what we're seeing. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What is your thoughts? Because it's all crazy out there. It's nuts. People are going nuts, and we're watching the country crumble right before us. And we're reaping what we've sown. When you consider the children that have gone into this beast known as the public education system, indoctrinating them to all kinds of anti-God things, it's no wonder that we're in the condition that we're in. But I will make this video much longer if I don't just say, okay, we'll stop there. And I'll catch you next time. If you haven't already, please click to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of my next video. God bless and have a great day.